Halima stood by the window in her spacious office, gazing over Kano's bustling skyline. It was a life she loved, meeting new clients, sealing deals, and climbing the corporate ladder as the marketing manager at one of Nigeria's prominent banks. Her phone buzzed, and she answered, smiling at the familiar voice. "Halima, we need to talk tonight," her husband Usman said, his tone serious. "It's important." That evening, after their two children, Aminu and Hassana, had gone to bed, they sat in the living room to talk. Usman turned to Halima. "Halima, I think it's time for a change," he began. "My company is doing well. We have enough to live comfortably. I think you should consider stepping back from the bank." Halima's face stiffened. "What? Usman, you know how much I love my work." "Yes, but Aminu and Hassana need us. They need you, especially now. Maybe you could take a break from working for a while or work part-time in my company." She shook her head. "Usman, I have worked too hard for this. You know my ambition and how much this job means to me. I am not ready to give it up. I love our children, but my career is important too. The children will be fine. I'm not quitting." Usman sighed, nodding slowly. "I understand, but we cannot keep going like this. Let us think about another option." Reluctantly, Usman let the matter drop. They made plans and decided to find a daycare for Hassana where she will be well taken care of while they are at work. After searching online, they came across a center with glowing reviews. The owner, Madam Kura, claimed extensive training abroad in early childhood education. "Her portfolio is impressive," Usman said, showing Halima the profile. "She seems trustworthy." Halima nodded, reading the testimonials. "All right, let's give it a try. It will be expensive, but the peace of mind is worth it." They enrolled Hassana in the daycare, convinced it was a safe place. On the first day, Usman dropped Hassana off. Madam Kura smiled warmly, assuring him, "She will be well cared for, and I will send you photos of her activities." Usman left, feeling reassured. Little did they know that Madam Kura's care was a facade. As soon as the parents left, Madam Kura snapped photos of the children playing and sent them to their parents. But within the hour, she dressed the children in old worn-out clothes and took them to local markets and crowded areas. "Listen, children," she whispered. "Ask people for money. Tell them you are hungry and need food." The children, confused but obedient, did as she said. Passers-by, moved by their innocent faces, gave generously while Madam Kura collected the money. By 4 p.m., they returned to the daycare, tired and hungry. When Usman picked up Hassana, he noticed her exhaustion. "Is she all right?" he asked. Madam Kura smiled. "Just tired from a fun-filled day. She enjoyed every activity." Usman accepted the explanation, unaware of the double life his daughter was living under Madam Kura's watch. One day, Halima was visiting a new client near the city center. As she stopped at a busy intersection, her heart skipped a beat. she saw a child who looked exactly like Hassana standing with a group of children by the roadside. "Hassana," she muttered, squinting. She drove closer, but by the time she reached the spot, the children were gone. Unsettled, Halima went straight to the daycare. Hassana was there, looking clean and playing. "Were you all here the entire day?" she asked Madam Kura. "Yes," Madam Kura replied smoothly. "We never leave the center." Halima hesitated but forced a smile. "All right. I just thought I saw someone who looked like my daughter." Madam Kura's expression remained calm, betraying nothing. But Halima's motherly intuition stirred. Life returned to routine, but Halima couldn't shake the strange feeling from that day. She started noticing that Hassana seemed weak and distracted after daycare. Her little body sometimes bruised, though always lightly. Halima mentioned it to Usman one night. "Have you noticed how tired and weak Hassana seems these days?" "She is a growing child, Halima," he replied, "and Madam Kura is keeping her active." Halima nodded, though doubts lingered. But work demands pulled her attention away. The daycare's high fees and the positive feedback reassured them both that Hassana was safe. Things continued to go as normal until one fateful day. During a board meeting at Usman's office, his phone vibrated with an unknown number. Ignoring it, he tried to refocus, but it rang persistently. Finally, he excused himself and answered. A voice said urgently, "Sir, your daughter Hassana has been in an accident. She is at Kano Hospital." Usman's heart stopped. He raced to the hospital, where he found Halima sobbing uncontrollably as doctors worked desperately over their daughter, unconscious with bruises and injuries. "How did this happen?" Halima cried. "She was supposed to be safe." A witness finally explained. "I saw the children begging by the market where a car lost control. Hassana was hit. She wasn't supposed to be out there." Usman and Halima sat, stunned. "She was begging? Our daughter?" Usman whispered. With shaking voices, they pieced together the horrible truth from other witnesses and local shopkeepers who had often seen the daycare children begging in the streets. Madam Kura's scheme unraveled. She had been using the children as pawns to beg, pocketing the donations. Halima and Usman were furious. They vowed to make Madam Kura pay for her cruel deeds. They called the police, who promptly investigated and shut down the daycare, arresting Madam Kura. While still reeling from Hassana's accident, another phone call came that evening, this time from a stranger saying their son Aminu was found injured. "We found him alone near his school," the caller said. "He was lying on the roadside, bruised and exhausted." Rushing to the second hospital, Usman and Halima learned that Aminu had wandered away after the school security guard left him unattended. School was long over, and he hadn't been picked up by his parents. This was a usual occurrence. That day, he was so tired and decided to go home by himself. He had fallen, hurting himself as he tried to find his way home alone. Halima's guilt deepened as she held Aminu's tiny bruised hand. "How could I let this happen?" she whispered to Usman. "We were supposed to be there for them." She silently prayed to God to save her children and give her a second chance to care for them adequately. After Hassana and Aminu recovered, Halima made a decision. "I am resigning," she told Usman. "I need to be here for them, for us." Usman nodded. There was relief and gratitude in his eyes. "I will welcome you at the company, Halima. But more than that, I am grateful you will be here with us." With her husband's support, Halima joined his company part-time, balancing work and family in a way she had once thought impossible. Their home became happier, their bond stronger, and as they tucked Aminu and Hassana in each night, they knew they had made the right choice. Halima's ambition hadn't disappeared, but her children's laughter had become the most fulfilling sound of all. This story is an eye-opener as it teaches the importance of balancing career with family time, thoroughly vetting caregivers, and paying attention to signs of distress in children. True fulfillment comes from nurturing both professional success and family relationships. And keeping children safe requires vigilance and care from both parents and the community. We have come to the end of this captivating story. I hope you were hooked all the way while watching this one. Kindly do well to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Also like this video, drop your positive comments, and share this video to your friends, family, and loved ones. Until I come your way next time, remain blessed.